Welcome to Synced on Air. I'm your host, Angelique Robb, and today I have Kathleen Hallal from Firehawk Bioherbicide. Welcome, Kathleen.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here, Angelique.
Well, and it's great to have you, especially because you were just at Sync Live this January in New Orleans, and we got to hang out more. And so now it's great. I know more about you, more about your products. Lots of good things happening. So what we're excited
Truly.
about, and really this, we decided to go live with this. Sometimes we record and do it later, but it's Earth Day, and what a perfect day to talk about a better alternative to Roundup. So thank you for being with us, and yeah, let's hear, this came about for you, Kathleen.
Well, it started a long time ago, probably about 12 years ago. Our boys had
Wow.
some health issues, and I was kind of had a big team to kind of make them better, including, various doctors, experts, children's health experts. And then I started looking into diet because I knew diet was very important for our health. So I started talking to farmers because Prop 30 labeling was starting to kind of pop up in California. And there was a farmer who came out to speak at a local church, and he was from Iowa. And he talked about what GMO farming is, Roundup Ready crops, and what he was seeing in terms of the degradation of soil health and animal health where glyphosate was present, whether it was in their feed or, in the soil for the crops. And he kind of talked about these things, and he said glyphosate is a real concern and everyone's using it very freely. However, he said he was a third generation farmer living on the farm with his son, who's a fourth generation farmer in their family. And he said, I'm seeing things that aren't very positive in the soil and in the animal health. And he talked about his pigs and the animal behavior and so on. And he mentioned that the pigs that were fed the feed that had glyphosate residue on it didn't behave as well, couldn't learn as well, and they had skin
Really?
problems, eczema and different things. And then when they were processed, when they were taken to the butcher, the processor found that his pigs that were not fed the feed with glyphosate had healthier intestines, less redness in their guts, less pus, and the sausages were stronger. Like, you know how they make it out of the intestines? It's kind of gross,
Yeah.
but they wouldn't burst when they stuffed them as much. And so that was the first that he understood that really there could be physical ramifications to consuming things with that kind of feed. And that sort of opened my eyes to thinking about, wow, what's in our food? What's in the environment? What's going on? And we switched our children's diet to an organic diet, and they got better as part of many modalities. They got better. But then I noticed around the school that they were using a lot of those same conventional herbicides that he had mentioned, that he had seen in Iowa, and that were causing things that he thought that weren't positive. And I thought, well, why are they using this around these kids? The school was K through 8th grade, so a lot of these kids were very little. And I noticed them digging in the dirt around the tree wells right where the yellow warning signs were. And this would happen more or less once a month, and all the parents were standing around chatting, and the kids are digging in the dirt, and no one's really noticing the little warning signs. But I noticed because they look like the same products that the farmer had been talking about. So that's kind of what got me going. I thought, wow, isn't there a better way to treat weeds on school campuses than using these conventional chemicals? Like, what if there's some issue with them? And so that's how I got my start. And I started asking questions and investigating with government and scientists and sort of confirming everything I'd heard from different farmers from different chemicals. And I thought, surely there's a better way. And so I started hunting as a way of helping landscapers to get their job done efficiently because they need these products. They consider them tools, right? So they need these in their toolbox to get their jobs done. But I was just thinking, isn't there something kind of better that's maybe not a conventional product that might work as well for these guys so we could hit a happy medium and make everyone happy? And it took me 10 years to find this product. Actually, it was the same farmer. He figured it out in Australia and he called me. He said, I think I found something that works. And I didn't believe him because I had tried everything, and I was like, wow, nothing works quite as well as these more conventional products. So he found this, and then it took a lot of iterations and a lot of, process to get through the EPA to get approval, but now we have a product that I think is really something else. So, I'm working for the
It's
company.
yay! And so approved by the EPA and you're working on, you can distribute it almost anywhere in the states? What's the status of
Yes.
are all
The
states?
our original concentrate, which is 20-to-1 concentration, is available in all states, and we
Okay,
have a new super concentrate, which is a 50-to-1 concentrate, and that's available in about 46 states right now. So we're waiting for a few more states to get approval, but we have people using the concentrates just everywhere in every state, and they're really excited because our performance is pretty amazing. We incorporate a lot of science into the formulation, and we've been lab tested. We contain no conventional herbicidal chemicals, and people kind of don't believe it a lot of times when they see it work. They say, "Come on, Kathleen, like there must be something." But we control all production. We know what's in it, and we take care to have, ingredients that, we're not fibbing. Let's put it that way. They perform very, very well, but there are certain ingredients that we don't have that we're pretty proud of.
it's fantastic. And you know, it's like farming integrated this as a way to produce quicker and, you know, turn crops around quicker
That's right.
and we didn't know the ramifications. But now that we know them, we do need to do better as
Yeah, I
as an
mean,
industry, as farmers, landscapers, anybody to do with the earth, you know?
yeah. I mean, it's kind of like I can't talk very much about health issues, and I don't when it comes to our product, but I will tell you that performance-wise, we're pretty amazing. And the fact that there are questions about some products on the market means to me, like, why don't we try to do better? Why don't we try to use products that don't contain those ingredients and see if they can work as well? And, can still get the job done. So that's kind of my aim. My aim is to help people, use a product that is very high performance, that might answer their needs, and we are a bioherbicide. The EPA definition of a bioherbicide, more or less, I'll paraphrase, but it means, derived from naturally occurring ingredients. And we are organic. Our super concentrate is launching in Australia as a fully certified organic product, and we're applying for approval in the EU, where we expect to also be approved organic. And then in the United States, we are a bioherbicide because we produce our own active ingredient, which is nonanoic acid. It's kind of the same as pelargonic acid, which in nature would come from, say, geraniums, sunflowers. A lot of the foods we eat have pelargonic acid in them, but our specially derived nonanoic acid is works optimally with our technology so that you get very high performance.
Hmm. And, I guess that's the other thing, maybe other people have tried other products that claim, that are organic and maybe they didn't work as well. I think, you know, you're talking about 12 years of looking for or 10 years looking for other products. So you've been
Yeah.
down that road yourself and now I believe Harvard University is using it. Is that
Yeah,
right?
they just reordered today. This is year 6.
On
They
Earth
love
Day
us.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, and oh, that's right, I didn't think of that. I have to send them, like, a gold button or something, but, their campus has been organically maintained for 17 years. And they love Firehawk, they love using us, and I've been a longtime provider for Park City, Utah. They use us around their golf course, their trails, their dog parks, and their water processing plant. So, yeah, we do have some longtime customers. I have ranchers in Montana. I have a university in Florida, Ave Maria. They love us. We have customers in Georgia, Arizona, California, all over. It works
Over.
everywhere. I'm so proud to represent Firehawk. I really am extremely proud. And my own city where I used to live, Irvine, California, they adopted an organics first citywide policy. I kind of led the movement through the PTA and with the parents, and I ended up working with the city and the mayor. And I was on the mayor's commission for the environment while she was in office. And we're still friends. And right now they're testing our product all over Irvine. And yeah, it's very, very
That's
exciting.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, and you're leading the charge across the whole of the US. I love that. And, it's funny when I first started my landscape business, I thought I'm going to do everything in an organic way and we're going to, but this was 20 years ago and there weren't any good options. And you said this earlier in when we started that, you know, you have to use these tools as a business, you
Yes.
know, use Roundup or glyphosate, and get the job done quicker and less time for people and overheads and all that. If
Yes.
you say, well, I have to hand weed your entire acre plot,
It's a lot of
nobody
work.
would pay for that.
Yeah.
So it's cost prohibitive without some kind of tool. So I think this is why, as a business, you can't justify doing things completely organically or by hand, I should say, if you don't have a product that works. And so I found myself having to make those difficult decisions. Well, I don't want to use chemicals, but I have to. Otherwise, I it blows the cost estimate out of the water. It delays other work. It's almost impossible to do at scale without these
Sure.
tools until, something works as efficiently. So I think that, for the landscaping community, like you have to use these tools and they're just to date there wasn't anything as effective. Kudos to you and the Firehawk team for persevering over, you know, many years.
It was a journey, and I will say that I love all the products out there that are, organic or that try to avoid, the conventional chemical ingredients. I appreciate all of them so much. And, I just worked for so many years and I kept meeting with different cities and different, grounds departments and parks departments and schools. And they all said to me, Kathleen, we're understaffed. We don't have the time, we don't have the funds. So it was really a problem. And now our product comes in, and because it uses a patented delivery technology, it's highly, highly effective. It gives you really fast results that last. And so people are very satisfied. Also, if you order in the larger quantities, our product comes in at well under $2 a gallon, which is very interesting. That's the mixed gallon price. And it's effective, our super concentrate is effective at 4.1 ounces per gallon or fewer. So I think that's 3.6% strength. Other products out there, they work at like much higher percentage strength, 12 to 16, 17% strength. We're only 2.6.
Wow.
Our footprint is pretty great out there.
Yeah.
Like we are so far, very, very positive feedback. We've been very happy with it. And so it is exciting, Angelique, because it has been a journey.
Well, and it works a bit differently than others. I mean, do you want to go into the science of how it works a bit? I mean,
I
it's
can
kind
go
of
into a little bit of
yeah,
it.
I was going to say you might
We
lose some of us.
well, I'll try not to. I tend to nerd out a little, but the product, it was invented by a scientist whose specialty was human health and vitamins. And he created liquid vitamin supplements, and he wanted to develop a more efficient way of delivering the minerals into people's bodies. He would help people who were severely ill, fighting cancer and things like that. And he had this technology that he patented. And one day he said, wow, I wonder if I put my patented technology into a simple herbicide, if that would also sort of give it superpowers for cell penetration and getting into where it needs to go. And sure enough, it worked. So that was kind of the beginning. And we've had a lot of development since that beginning, but those are our roots there in an
That's so
individual who's very
interesting.
concerned about helping people. We have a very interesting background, and the people at our company are extremely passionate.
Well, so okay, so and I guess that kind of makes sense. I mean, I'm thinking about back to biology and once if you can break into the cells of the weeds, then it doesn't take as harsh of a product, maybe it's how you get it into the cells of the plant that's
That's just
different.
it. And we're
Yeah.
very, very aggressive at that. We really undress the weeds. I say we undress the weeds because we break down the outer waxy layer of the leaves and the stems, and we do it so quickly that the plant kind of panics and it creates a reaction and it kind of self-oxidizes and it sort of cannibalizes itself. And so everyone always asks me, does it kill to the roots? And it does, but not because of our product. It's more the metabolic reaction of the plant. And so that's why we're
Hmm.
so effective, and I've been testing it, around here in Utah, and then I was just out in California, and it is something else, I'm telling you. In 10 minutes, you know those weeds are gonna die. They start to turn black and wilt, and the next day, they're just crispy. I mean, I'm spraying out here in Utah, giant milk thistles, like 2.5 feet wide. I spray them. I sprayed one up the hill, a few, and my husband and I went up like 3.5 hours later, and they were already dead.
Oh my
So,
goodness. Well, I'm
yeah,
excited to use it. I've ordered some off of Amazon to use around my
good.
place
Thanks, Angelique.
because I hated using glyphosate, but then, it was like trying to find an alternative was such a challenge. And, I'm working all day at my landscaping. I don't have time to do, yeah, just do things all the time in the garden. And so, well, I'm looking forward to using it. It's raining here at the minute. It's supposed to be raining it for the next week and a half. But after that, I'll maybe have to film it. I'll have to do a trial and we can even, yes, speed it up and
Yeah,
do a little video clip.
yeah. I'm looking for customers to do time-lapse videos, and also we
Okay.
appreciate it when people just do before after pictures. I have a problem when I do demos, I kinda start talking and I forget to get the before picture, and then I'll chat a little, and I'll forget, and I'll go back, and I'll be like, "Oh." Like I kind of miss my window. So we appreciate all feedback. We appreciate any time lapse video. We're going to be at a show. I forgot which one. I think it's in Texas. We booked so many shows coming up, and the theme of the show is like something about racing or speed. So I'm going to
Okay.
get time lapse videos of like how fast the weeds die when you spray them, like over and over
Good.
again, all different
Yeah.
weeds. And hopefully we'll win the contest for our booth because we are definitely speedy. We are definitely speedy. And on the other side, our customers say we're very long lasting. They are really excited. They say they have lower weed pressure as they go, and that after you work through the seed bank with the first couple applications, like maybe 4 weeks apart, they all say that they get longer and longer and longer stretches between the regrowth. So, our product is super interesting, and we're doing a lot of studies. We've done an initial 2-year soil study that shows a slight boost to the microbiome after this process is finished, and
So
we're doing
even healthier
more
soil
studies. Yeah, I
after,
mean, we don't claim that we're a soil conditioner or anything, but we
yeah.
definitely saw a net slightly positive result, and we plan to continue more studies throughout different regions in the US and throughout different states just so we can learn more about it. We ourselves are learning about this science and our effect on nature, but it's super exciting. Like I'm really into all things regenerative. So
Yes.
supporting the soil, supporting nature, what's your downstream effect, all of those things. I'm watching very carefully with our product and we're doing more and more science because we all want to learn more about that.
Well, and yeah, I mean, you think when you spray and you're killing weeds
It's a
that
side.
you could damage something else. Yeah,
Yeah.
you could. But
Yep.
so it's great to see that the soil tests that you have, you know, that there is no lasting damage, but you're also seeing less weed pressure. So
Yeah.
those two things
That that's
together seem
that's
bizarre.
that's the feedback. Well, they do, except that when you understand organic gardening principles, because I'm NOFA accredited as an organic landscaping professional, I wanted to learn what the challenges are for landscapers and what these professional organic landscapers have discovered. Like how the things they do work, like,
Yeah.
producing compost and compost tea and cutting back on
And it
conventional chemicals and how that affects the whole environment in terms of the water and the birds and the butterflies and like the whole package.
ecosystem.
The whole ecosystem, and then the whole water issue is about to become a very big thing, and the organic landscapers, when they maintain the soil health, they use 30% less water. So,
Mm.
it's very, very interesting, like, the science on all these things, and we just continue to look into it, and we continue to follow what's going on.
Fantastic. We're just finishing up our magazine issue, and probably somebody I need to introduce you to, but they're regenerating lawns and the health of the soil, and this is in Florida, by
Yeah.
top dressing with a certain compost. And they're able to cut their irrigation. They're
Yes.
not needing pesticides.
Yes,
Like
or
they're seeing
fungicides.
all these
Yes.
benefits that they never
Yes.
anticipated that they would see. And it's because it's a healthier system.
Yeah, and you save money using these systems when done properly, especially when you do
Yeah.
sort of the whole package, like
Yeah.
what you're talking about. It's
Yeah.
a money
Feeding
saver.
the soil and
Yeah,
yeah,
in the
and
long run.
keeping out the weeds and yeah,
Yeah, there are a lot of benefits.
a
Plus
lot of
plus grow your
benefits.
business because everybody wants this kind of thing. Like so many I meet so many
Yeah.
professional landscapers, and they're like, "What do you have? Does it work?" They're
They're
really
getting
looking.
asked all the time
Yes.
because of parents, being concerned about their kids. You want your kids to play outside and not be afraid of what you're putting out there and or somebody else is putting out there, like you said, on the crops. I mean, it's a lot deeper. I mean, I didn't know we lived in Scotland. We lived in the country, and it was farmers
Mhm,
all around us. And I
mhm.
didn't know about them using glyphosate everywhere, and they all do it. And, like, I thought I was doing good by moving into the countryside, and then I felt like, "Oh my goodness, we've actually put our kids in the in the middle of this, We've actually done the opposite of what we thought we were doing by moving into the country." Many of my friends, their kids have had to go to organic or either, homemade breads or different, we do things to commercialize food production, and I think we're seeing the downside of that ultimately. So we need to rethink it. We need to do better, and I think there's a lot of parents out there, you know, wanting to do better. So, they're asking the companies to do better and landscapers themselves have wanted to do better. It's just finding something that works. So,
Yeah.
thank you for leading the charge to do this. I mean, this
I
is
don't know if I
fantastic.
would. Yeah, you're welcome.
What?
I don't know if I would say I'm leading the charge. There are a lot of people out there who are, like, thinking this way, but it started because 'cause I'm a mom, and I started wondering, what was being used in the park, what was being used around the schoolyard, and why. Could we do better if we wanted to? Like, how do we make people want to?
Is there a way?
And then, the more of these landscapers I met, I just sympathized with them because I thought, wow, they're handling certain products all day, every day for their entire career
What about
too. And that,
themselves? Yeah.
yes, that also became a concern for me. And a lot of them are very grateful when I come and I talk to them and then they demo our product and they say, oh my gosh, finally, there's something we can use. So it's
Yeah.
an exciting time. It feels like there's kind of a tipping point right now.
I agree. I do think that. Well, and there's COVID that happened too, that people went outside more and maybe appreciated being outdoors more. And then, along with the concerns of
Yeah.
glyphosate. So
Well, for your field too, for so many of your landscape designers, right? Now the backyard is considered another living space.
Yes. Yes.
So
As it should
all
be.
of this is as it
And
should
then
be.
if you're gonna spend more time out there,
Yeah.
you want it to be safe. And also, I think that, in Europe, we talked a lot about soil health. And when I first moved to the States, I was like, why is no one talking about this? And that's when I met Anna Paltseva.
Yeah, I love
You
it.
met her at Sync
Yes.
Live. So I was so glad that the two of you could hang out and get to know each other
Yeah.
because, it all goes hand in hand. Just like you said, regenerative practices, you know, it has to all fit together for it to work.
Yeah, I met this morning with an environmental engineer here in Utah, and her career has been very, very interesting because she's been involved with a lot of cleanup from the mining, historically, especially this area in the
Okay.
mountains,
Heavy
mining, mining,
metals.
mining. So there are a lot of areas where she's had to completely dig it out or figure out how to seal an area where people were living or going to develop a park or whatever. She comes in and she makes sure it's safe. And it's a real challenge because nobody was thinking about these things back when they were
At the
mining,
time.
right?
Yeah.
And now they're having to fix it or make it safer for
Remediate.
people.
Yeah.
In Park City, they're not even allowed to have home gardens. Well, they can, but it has to be a raised bed and they have to bring the soil in. They are not allowed to plant gardens.
Really?
Whole town.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think that people from different professions need to all start working together. The water people, the heavy metal
Yes,
people, the soil people, the landscaping professionals. Like,
I
I think that
agree.
the outdoors needs to be seen as one big entity rather than this section where we see a weed and we're just going to spray it and we're not going to think of the rest of the
The
consequences.
runoff, the water, how it can
Whatever.
impact the freshwater aquifers or even the creek, half a mile away
Yeah.
and the plants. Yeah, I totally agree. And I think that, that's what I envision starting Synced is that like stormwater management is landscaping,
Yes.
erosion control is landscaping, outdoor living is landscaping. Everything that we do to the land is connected and has an impact on the
That's
soil,
right.
on the stormwater, on, I sit here in South Louisiana where we get rain, heavy downfalls, and it all rushes into the streets. And I've had friends, their cars flooded, but yet our plants sometimes don't have enough water just by the grading and how things have been done over 20, 40, 60 years. It's not an ecosystem right now. The
Yeah.
hardscaping, the landscaping, and everything. So
We
you're
need
so
more
right.
awareness.
Yeah.
I mean, all
Well,
of us. I don't have all the answers either by any means. I
it
just
becomes more complicated, doesn't it? When you involve all these different things, it's hard to make the right decision on, you know, what is best for the environment. Well, it's complicated
it is.
sometimes. Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, but then there are people out there like you, who are offering places where professionals can go to learn all these different techniques, like from the tree specialist, the arborist,
Hmm.
or, you had several lectures that synced. And there are more
Yes.
and more professionals coming together where you can, if you want to change, say you're a
Find
very
those
conventional
solutions.
landscaper and you want to change, there are more
Yeah.
answers coming. I have a friend Rich McCoy, who used to be an organic landscaper. I don't know if you know Rich, but he
Yeah.
used to have his company. He just sold it, and now he's going to develop a regenerative training program for landscapers to teach others what he knows and what he's experienced as a business owner so they can go out and do that. Because one of
That's
the problems is
fantastic.
people don't know where to go get trained.
Well, and if you have to figure it all out yourself, you have to stop working to figure it out. And who
That's
can
right.
do that and live and feed yourself and your family and pay for
Yes.
your rent and your cars? Yeah, we do need more models out there. And that gives me an idea. So thanks for bringing that
Good.
up, Kathleen. So
Call
Kathleen was
Rich.
at
Get him
our
in.
Sync Live event in New Orleans, and she will be our Sync Live event in Phoenix coming up in September. And we're looking forward to working with a lot of the local associations as well as people flying in from different states. So, if you want more information, Kathleen, tell them how, if a landscaper's listening to this and wants to try your product, what should they do?
Well, I'm really excited because on our website, we just got the super concentrate finally up
Oh,
on the
yeah.
site. So there's a professional page you can go to. But if you want to reach me for any questions, my email is Hallal, my last name, K for Kathleen dot Halal at Firehawk, or sorry, that's wrong. K dot Halal at contactbiosolutions with an S.com.
Okay, great, great. We'll also put that in the show notes. We'll put your website, your contact details, um, and they can also come to Sync Live to meet you, talk more, but don't wait to
Yes.
try this. I mean, I'm so excited to try it. I can't believe it took me from January until recently to order some, but I've, it's been kind of the, crazy time for me. So
Yeah, I know. We are all so busy, but if you just wanna try it real fast, you could just order the ready to use, or professionals, you can mix up the concentrate. I highly recommend our concentrates if you're a professional. It's a ton of fun. If you follow the directions, once you get the hang of it, it works fast. It's kind of fun. Yeah.
very satisfying, huh? Seeing them die in front of your eyes and
Yeah. And then we're also used on some of the largest vineyards in the world. We are an agricultural product. We farmers love us. All the leading regenerative farmers featured in the movie Common Ground film on Amazon. If you
yes.
watch that film, it's fantastic. You can see all about the microbiome and how it affects crops and how it all works together. And a lot of those guys are on our team. We know them, and that's our club. Yeah.
That's awesome. I didn't know that. That
Yeah.
is fantastic. Well, Kathleen, this has been so much fun and looking forward to seeing you at a conference sometime soon. If not, I'll definitely see you at Sync Live, but
Yes.
really happy that you have such an effective solution for the industry. So, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Angelique.
Great. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.